Hey guys, it's Hillbeast here, and I'm going to be showing off Debian on the Android. Well, not on the Android specifically, just the Galaxy 3. So, just normal Galaxy 3. I'm running Kiara ROM clean. Nothing else on here except for Android VNC and ConnectBot. Go away, ConnectBot. Right. So basically, I go on my computer and I need to go into ADB shell. Need to work out an easy way of doing this. Sorry, need to unplug the phone and plug it back in. Get back in there. Alright, now ADB shell. I really need to fix that bug because it annoys the hell out of me. Right, so now I need to do boot other OS slash SD card slash other OS slash Debian.img. Now, boot other OS is a script that I made, which is derived from the one which boots Ubuntu on the likes of the G2 and all that. But I've modified it a little bit to make it work a bit better on our phone, and also to have SD card binding, and also it mounts the user directory separately into a different one because the user directory gets huge. Because if you start installing apps and stuff like that, so I made it so now you can expand it out a little bit. The current image is 750 megs, but you could make it bigger or smaller depending on how much you want. So you just run this, it executes a few things, and basically how this works is it uses chroot and it puts the bash from Debian into a box sort of thing, into its own little partition. So if I go into Qt80 ADB, and here we have the root partition for the other OS, which is Debian in this case. So you get like the bin folder and all that sort of thing, and you get your dev folder, the proc folder, and the sys folder. They're just your normal ones directly from Android, so it's exactly the same thing as what you'd get in Android. So if you go in here, you can see all the processes for Android which show up in it as well. And if I go into here, where I'm now in Debian, I can do ps-aux, and here we have processes from Android showing up here too. So it shows up everything. So both the operating systems are actually at the same time, because it's not two operating systems, it's just two I'm not really sure how you'd put it, but basically it's sort of two shells. You got the Android shell and then you got the Debian shell. Now we can go on the phone now Debian's all up and running, and we can go to Android VNC, and then we just check here, make sure the ports are all right and all the stuff's correct. Go to connect, and here we have it. I can zoom out a little bit. Zoom out, and here we have the shell. Now I can also connect into it from the computer as well at the same time, so I can go into VNC. No, sorry, I want type VNC, view it. Alright, and I want to make sure that's on port 1, and put the password in. And here we have it. We've got it on the computer as well. And if you look at the phone, it's also controlling the phone as well. So it's the exact same interface on both of them. Now down in the corner you get this handy little CPU meter, because this is LXDE. And you can go to My Documents. Now remember, this is all in the phone. This is not me running it off like someone else's computer or something. This is all running from in the phone. In fact, I'll prove it right now. So I'll close him off, and I'm going to go into here and minimize. Let's go turn the Wi-Fi off, and let's also put it in airplane mode. So now we're in airplane mode. Pay attention to that there. Alright, so I'm not connected to anyone else, and here I'm still in it. Yep, I'm still in, crap. It's hard to use because it's tiny. You gotta zoom in, which is good. You can zoom in. So we can go over here, and this is the SD card for the, oops, I'm off to the side. And this is the SD card on the Android. So you get your Android folder, for instance. Come here. Open. It's so tiny. It's quite hard to use right now. Open. Open. Please. Thank you. Alright. Alright. And basically, here it is. It's still working, and it's not VNC'd into anything else. As you saw, I put it into airplane mode, so I'm not tricking you or anything. But anyways, let's put it back onto Wi-Fi again, because... Oops. That was the wrong one. Turn airplane mode off. But anyways, I'm not trying to trick you or anything. This is really, the phone is running Debian. Let's pull it back up here again. And we'll go to tight VNC. And we go there. And back into here. And we can pull up the browser, which will take a absolute eternity, because we've got to take into account we've only got 256 megs of RAM, and about 150 megs of that is taken up by Android. So we've only got about 100 megs probably for Linux to work with for itself. So it's not a lot of room for it to work with, and it's constantly using the swap, and the CPU, it's not the most powerful thing in the world. With some improvements to it, I suppose you could probably get it a lot quicker, because it's currently not running the most efficient way. It's not running anything specific for the phone. The kernel is obviously perfectly optimized for the fact that it's just G3 mod, because I can go in here and I can go cat/proc/version, and let's see, it's a little bit unresponsive, especially when it's doing something like right now. It's still trying to open the browser. But as we can see, just a normal G3 mod, 2.0 beta 3. You know, it's nothing special about the phone at all. It's just an Android, but it's also got this Debian on it as well, which is no modification to the system whatsoever to make it run. All we've got to make it run is we've got, let's refresh that. That's not right. But we've only got an image, an install script, and the script which runs it. And the install script, all it does is just puts that into the bin, into your system bin folder, so that way you can just run it. You know, it's not a lot of stuff involved with it. So, and here we have the browser. And the other thing is, because of the fact that it's not running in an emulator or anything, it's got full access to all the hardware, so it can go to ifconfig, and when it shows up, see, it's really kind of slow for some things. And here we have the Wi-Fi showing up perfectly fine. And we've got the SVNet, which is the Samsung Virtual Network, which is your 3G, so it shows up all of that stuff. If I probably turn the Wi-Fi off, I haven't even tested this myself. So let's go back here and let's turn the Wi-Fi off, and let's see what it does when it's on 3G. Wait for it to connect to 3G. There we are, it's on HSDPA. If I go to there, and we got now PDP, and now I've got my IP address for my phone, which is there. And you could probably go ahead and ping it, but by now my phone's probably changed the IP address again, because it would have been going in and out of... Oh, whoops. I forgot that I'm going off Wi-Fi, so of course the stuff would have disconnected there. But anyways, it's a little bit awkward trying to do pinch to zoom with this thing, so you got to really fiddle around a little bit to get it working right. But yeah, if we go back and over there, select. I'm not sure how to pull the keyboard up automatically. Come here, bring the keyboard up. There we are. As you can see, I'm using the massive hacker's keyboard. So if I go Google, there we are. And it's waiting and loading. Hopefully this screen isn't too small for you to be able to see it. That's the one problem that we'll have, is the fact that our screen is quite small on our phone. So stuff's kind of fiddly and a little bit awkward to use. There's probably better ways you could run it, but here we are. Uh, try zooming, scroll down. It's not the easiest thing in the world to use when it's this small on the phone. You've really got to zoom in. But there we are. It's on Google. And that's all through the 3G. So there we are. That is Debian running on the Galaxy 3. There's a lot more which needs to be done. I want to get the graphics drivers working on it so that way it doesn't need to run through VNC. I want to get sound support working so that way you can play music on it for whatever reason you'd be using that over it. But the main thing that I really want to get this going for is the fact that it's Linux rather than being Linux running Android on top of it, because the thing is with Java, it puts a bit of an overhead on the CPU. Java won't run as efficiently as native ARM code, so you could get the likes of like a SNES emulator or something like that on the phone directly, and you'll be able to probably play your SNES games at natural speed sort of thing, because I remember being able to play SNES games on like a Pentium 2, and this is 800 megahertz now, so that's a lot faster than a Pentium 2. So it should be able to run SNES just fine. It's just, I reckon it's the Java overhead which does it. I'm not certain of that, but I'd like to be able to actually try it out and see it. So I'm going to be messing around all night tonight to see what can actually work on it. So anyways, that is Debian, and stay tuned for more info.